Morning, y'all. Got a little bit of a different view this morning because I've flipped the living room around a little bit because Mama was looking in here. Um, it's good to flip the living room around every once in a while. Get you to clean under the cracks and crevices and places that have been hiding. Oh boy, it's been a minute since I sat here for a second and talked, so let's have a little chat. What's going on in my world? Well, daylight savings hit, so I seem to be staying up till about 7, at least out in the world. I generally retreat into the bedroom for about an hour and a half before I fall asleep. And so 7 o'clock is probably where it's at these days. Y'all want to make plans? It's going to have to be before noon. Yeah, right? Um, but really, after 3 o'clock, getting me to do anything is pretty tough. Especially since I usually wake up before 6 a.m., normally towards the 4:30, 5 o'clock mark. So I saw the physiologist this week and was positively diagnosed for fibromyalgia, having exceeded the threshold. I will be referred to a neurologist because of the several things that are happening. Light sensitivity was one of them. My wife says, we're starting to live like vampires. Unfortunately, the overhead lights in my house are really, really disruptive to me. And it gives me muscle fatigue and it makes me tired and I can't handle it. In fact, I may have to readjust where I am over here because the way that this light is falling down on me is a little disruptive. So I have to make my follow-up appointment with my doctor, my regular doctor who was convinced it was carpal tunnel. And I got sent for my shoulder and not for my hands, but I needed to go for my hands, and that was really strange. So, I may ask to go back in and get reassessed because my hands, guys, look, like, do you see this? That's my grip. My hands are a problem. It's difficult though because I would need a ride in, because if I needed to drive myself, I would make sure that my hands were working properly so that I could drive. Yeah. So I gotta call my primary, who has been wanting to just give me drugs and mask all these things. It's really frustrating because I would like to know what's wrong with my body before I start putting things in my body. That's sort of how I've always rolled out. And for her to negate like all of my concerns almost and ignore them and be convinced that it's one thing that I don't understand why. Now that I'm thinking about it, why my hands weren't checked. Yeah. Physical therapy, also next for my shoulder. Tai Chi, strengthening exercises. This particular physiologist, I really appreciated him. He acknowledged the fact that the turmeric that I'm taking is good for the inflammation. Acknowledged that I wanted a full body healing, not just like Band-Aids. Yeah. Yep, there's that. So we're chugging along with that. We have just about 2 months before my disability hearing. Thank God I have a lawyer. That's all. Because the process is just a pain in the ass. The fibromyalgia will help my case, but not my body. Yeah. So I've revamped my. If anyone's interested in any of my amazing tracking sheets, I've had to revamp it a little bit. I got hands on there now. I've had hands on there for a little while. I start putting on here now, if I've left the house, like physically left the house, or drove somewhere, or if I actually changed my clothes, because it doesn't happen very often. Just is what it is. I do need to stretch this morning. Yeah, I need to find out why I didn't have a hands. Why my shoulder was sent in. Weird. And I gotta find out about physical therapy. I got my list, guys. Yep. Yep. Plus, I need to throw a dentist in there. Appointments are hard. Scheduling things, though, I have to schedule things. Even down to scheduling friends coming over. So, I had some friends come over on Monday, and it was both impromptu. And, just kind of skewed the day a little. And I can't do, like, it's very difficult for me to do quick plans, impromptu plans. Very difficult. Things need to be, like, more scheduled out in my world these days. And it needs to fit in the schedule. And the schedule is from, like, let's see, I mean, I'm available to talk maybe after, say, 8 or 9, because I can get my morning started. And then maybe if I take a nap, you know. But ain't nothing happened in and outside of the evening. It's rough. I miss a lot of things because everything appears to happen at night. Or just in general, getting out of the house is exhausting for me. Yep, it really is. So exhausting. Yup. My brother's birthday was yesterday. And my brother Tony's birthday would have been tomorrow. Well, happily heavenly birthday tomorrow. It's a rough. Spring is a rough season for me. A lot of things have happened in the spring, good and bad. With birthdays and death anniversaries, it becomes a mixed bag. And my youngest brother turned 40, and he's proclaiming that he's sober again, but until he goes to therapy, until he goes into a program, until he slays the demons, understands them, heals them, and does differently in every aspect of his life. Them opiates ain't gonna be gone long. And for 20 years, I have had no siblings. Not really, because when you lose a family member to addiction, so much has changed. So much changes. And it's difficult to watch because I know what's going on. Having the emotional background, the educational background, the intellectual background, the personal background of having to grow out of it, having to grow out of pain and trauma, and survive and thrive. And it's hard to watch the cycle of trauma perpetuate and addiction in this family. It's hard to hear the silences and the excuses. One of the things my therapist asked me very early on was, I know it's gone. Where'd you go? Oh, yeah. What's kept me here? What's kept me from doing the things? And my simple response is my family, my kids, and my mom. I had to be a mom. And when you're a mom, after you've lost a brother, and you see, well, your mother, how she just, you feel. I couldn't do that to my mom. I had to be the good kid. Being the good kid has come at such a cost. I mean, I've learned a lot. I've done great. But I've watched my brother be enabled because my mom doesn't want to lose another son. But I can't. I haven't had a brother in a very long time. Opiates took him. Alcohol took the other one. Tomorrow, Tony would have been turning 44. Scott just turned 40. And today used to be a celebration, a day of celebration. And now, for 20 years, it's been a day of remembrance and pain. So I try to make it every day, every year. I try to make it a little special. Oh, thank God I have therapy tonight, because, yeah, definitely need that. My mom's birthday rolls around at the end of the month. Unfortunately, the day before her birthday is when my grandmother passed, so I got a couple weeks before the grief swells up again. And then we're good till April. And then I think I can handle the rest of the year. Life is definitely a spiral. Has been for me. It's brought me to places that I needed to be. Lessons I needed to learn. And as I watch the world around us now, it's very hard. Because people are disconnected and accountability is lost. And the world is broken and we're just bullying each other into being compliant. It's not the world I want. Nope. The world I want is peaceful and lush and resourceful and creative and innovative and self-sustainable. It's a world out there that not everybody wants, but a lot of people want. And it's, right now it looks like a really hard road to get to. We'll get there. March 17th, 2020, people. That's where we are today. I hope you guys get all the luck of the Irish. Have a wonderful St. Patrick's Day. Love your family and your friends. And let's keep hoping for a greener, better, wonderful world. Stay magical, y'all. Talk to you soon.